But the thing that I think good number of people on the committee are concerned about is just the very, very low level of job creation. If you adjust what has been the trend job creation over the past, let's say, 6 months, if you adjust that for what we think, our staff thinks, is the overstatement due to overcounting, effectively there's zero net job creation in the private sector. But actually that looks like that's about what the economy needs in terms of dealing with very, very low, non-existent really, growth in the labor force, which of course we've never had in our history. So you've got a sort of a zero employment growth equilibrium. Now that's balance, okay, but I would say it does have a feel of downside risk, and it's not kind of a really comfortable balance. So
you heard it right out of the horse's mouth. There has been a net zero increase of jobs in America over the last 6 months. I told y'all about this a year and a half ago. There will be no jobs. You will be forced out of a job. White collar will be eradicated. Blue collar, listen, you got a job for now until those iRobots can lift up tools and unplunge the toilet and, hop on poles and put together the wires. Until then, listen, blue collar, you're kind of safe right now. But as far as white collar, which is the majority of the workforce, right? It is around 60, 65, 70% of the workforce, believe it or not. Blue collar has been getting eradicated over the years, ever since they pushed college, ever since they pushed degrees, so on and so forth. They've been getting rid of blue collar jobs, but blue collar jobs may be making a comeback. But all in all, even if you have a blue collar job, or even if you're looking for a trade job right now, listen, I seen a video where people are fighting over unions, right? It is so bad to where you have people who are fighting over union jobs, right? They're trying to get in because nobody is hiring. The U.S. economy is at a standstill, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. economy is at a pause, and it doesn't look like it's recovering anytime soon. So this is what's going to happen, right? For all of you people, all of you men and women who've relied on Daddy Gov, right? All of you men and women who've relied on the traditional job, the traditional 9-to-5 system, you're going to have to find another route. You're going to have to find another route. It's no more. I don't want to hear no more of that. Oh, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, bro. Some people need to work a job, right? And okay, keep that mindset. Some people need to starve then. How about that? Some people need to starve. How about that? If that is your mindset going into 2026 and beyond, well, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Everybody can't start a business. Maybe you're right, my guy. Maybe you're right, my gal, right? Maybe entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Let's see what happens when your ass starve. How about that? How about those apples, right? Since entrepreneurship is not for everybody, business is not for everybody, how about you just starve? Because it's either do or die. They are telling you plain Jane. The government literally is hopping on stand and telling y'all, listen, buddy, there hasn't been any job growth. All right. And then on top of that, the U.S. government is asking for $200 billion, right? $200 billion of taxpayer money. They're asking for $200 billion to continue this war in Iran, to give the you-know-who some more money so they can live tax-free, so their kids can go to school for free, so they can have free health care, so they can live over there all googly-moogly and la-la-la-la-la, while we over here fighting over the scraps. Yeah, they just asked for another $200 billion. Yeah, Pete Hegseth just asked for another $200 billion while American people starve. And then there's no jobs. Yeah, keep saying that. Keep on talking about entrepreneurship is not for you. It is do or die out here. So either you're going to do or your ass is going to be night-night, ninja. Your ass is going to be night-night. Because here's the thing. Entrepreneurship is in everything. Right? If you drive to work, if you commute to work, well, don't you got to keep up with your car? Right? I will hope you keep it up with your car maintenance. I will hope that you're keeping up with oil changes. I will hope that you're keeping up with that stuff. Right? I will hope that you're getting your tires rotated. I will hope that you're filling up your gas tank. I I hope that you're keeping up with this, even when you're on a job, right? Even when you're on a job, I hope that you're keeping up with your job. Don't you get papers to push, ninja? Don't you get papers to push? That's your entrepreneurship skills, okay? Don't you get something? Don't they give you something to look after, right? At your 9 to 5, don't they give you responsibilities? Don't they hope and pray that you're an adult and can keep up with this? What's the difference between entrepreneurship? What's the difference between starting that business? Because the new economy, 9 to 5 workers, right? It's not going to favor you. It's not going to favor you at all. If anything, it's going to hurt you the most. It's going to hurt the 9 to 5 workers the most. Because while there is no net job growth, while there has been a net zero job growth, guess what? All the major corporations are making profits. They're taking profits. They're taking their money and running. They're saying they're cutting people off, laying people off, right? And maximizing profits. And guess what the executives are doing? They're getting major bonuses, buddy. They're getting major bonuses, right? They're implementing AI, right? They're implementing automation, and they're cutting the human workforce out of it. And the automation is working 24/7, buddy. Right? AI can work 24/7, buddy. And guess what? They're taking the whole 30-day, 60-day, 90-day hiatus on those bonuses that they're getting. They're getting 30, 40, 50, $60,000 bonuses, ninja. Babe, I'm taking you in a side piece to Ibiza. I'm taking you in a side piece to Dominican Republic, babe. You ready? What, is she coming? Is she flying private with us? Yeah, I might just have her meet us there. I may have her fly Delta first class. I have some points over there. I'll just fly her out. Okay, what about the kids? Let's send them to your mom in Italy. Let's send them to Italy. Let's have a blast. Let's have a blast in Ibiza. They're spinning profits. They're making record profits. Right? But y'all keep sitting around here thinking that your job is safe. Nobody is safe. Hell, the executives know they're not even safe. But guess what? They're in a better position than you and I. They're in a better position than the majority of people. They're sitting on money. They're sitting on Bitcoin. They're sitting on crypto. They're sitting on overseas money, overseas account. They're sitting on that shit. Right? So the question is to you who's watching this, right? What are you going to do? Because the alarms, I've been sounding the alarm for over a year. And now the fruits, the vegetables, the harvest is coming. You know the saying that I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. The fruits have come to bear. The crops have come to harvest, whatever the hell the saying is. Y'all know what I'm saying. The time has come, right? The time has come for you to either get on your shit or be left behind. And people will still look at these headlines. They will still see what's going on and be completely dissociated. And this is why it really, I'm communicating this message to the ones who are paying attention. I'm communicating this message to those of you who you can see exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on, but you're just trying to figure out, damn, how do I pivot? Right? I see what's going on, but damn, if I got a degree, they're not hiring. I have a tech degree, right? Tech is getting wiped out by technology, AI, robotics. There's a hiring freeze with much of tech, right? Much of white collar, they have a hiring freeze. Dang, where do I go? Right? This is where you lock in. This is where you lock the F in. Listen, leave those hoes alone. Leave those weird ass hoes alone. There's no time to be messing with no hoes, right? If you ain't got a little bit of change in your pocket, right? Leave those hoes alone. If you don't have a stable income, leave those hoes alone. If you ain't got nothing going on with yourself, leave those hoes alone. Even if you do have something going on with yourself, now it's time to focus. Fuck them hoes. Right? Y'all still worried about these hoes. Y'all still worried about getting married. Y'all still worried about, well, I may never get to have a baby. Man, if you don't shut up and get your money right, man, now is not the time to be crying and bitching and moaning about what these hoes out here doing, or if you can find a wife or not. Now it's time to hunker down. Now it's time to invest into some skill sets. Now it's time to really see what you're made of. Oh, here comes all the tests, baby boy, baby girl. Here comes all the tests now. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. Right? So I hope and pray that you've been training. And if you have not, you better hunker down. Right? If you ain't been in the gym, you don't have no endurance, you don't have no stamina. Right? You can't take on the brunt force of shock, right? When something shock your system, you don't know how to handle it because your body's all out of sync, right? Your hormones are all out of sync. You keep eating that fried ass chicken. You keep on eating that in and out, right? You keep eating those wings, your hormones are all out of balance. So as soon as something happens, you in panic mode. You don't know how to handle it because your system is all off balance, right? Your brain, your mental capacity, you can't handle the load. So you just crash out. You go into a deep depression. Right? If that's you, it's time to hunker down. Everything else don't matter. You gotta put the blinders on now. You gotta put the blinders on. Because there's gonna be test after test after test after test. What do I keep telling you? Now, this is the time of chaos, right? This is the season of chaos, but it's also the season of focus, right? Yes, everything is chaotic right now, right? But the chaotic season is here to drive out the weak. Come on now, y'all listening. The chaotic season right now is here to push out the weak, to squeeze out the weak so the strong, the cream of the crop, can rise to the top. Are you going to be the cream of the crop, or are you going to be some doomer loser? Because by all means, that's your right to be a doomer loser. That is your right. But if you want to win, here's the time. You got to tap into that chaotic energy. You got to tap into the monster in you, because guess what? The U.S. government has tapped into the monster in them. Right? And they're on the way out. The U.S. is on the way out. So what are you going to do? Are you going to pivot? Or are you just going to sit back? No, I believe in my country. I know that the administration, they know what they're doing. I believe in the administration. That's my president. Man, if you don't shut up. Yeah, he's making America great again. Man, are you being serious? Are you being serious right now? He is making his pockets great again. He is making his pockets great again. He is making his buddies' pockets great again. Not your pockets. But you can make your pockets great again if you choose to do so. But it ain't going to be working at 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong now. If you got a job, now, use that job to the best of your ability. Do the job to the best of your ability, right? Do the job just to get by, however you get by. I mean, just make sure you keep a job, right? But all in all, that season is over with, right? It's driving out the weak. So you're going to have to actually be creative now. Many people are not going to like this. You're going to actually have to think now. Right? You're going to actually have to put in work. No more looking at manuals. No more just click here and click there and just send the emails and type this letter up. No more just do this and do that. No more you come to work, you only doing, you construction workers, you blue collar. No more coming to work and just doing 5 hours of work and you just sitting around the rest of the day. No more. No. Those days are over with. Right? The days of easy work is over with. That's the reason why a lot of people are crashing out. That's the reason why a lot of people are losing their mind, because they're so used to instant gratification. They're so used to just skating by. No more just skating by. No more. No, those days are over with. Now you got to put boots on the ground. Now we got to really see what you made out of, man. Now life is really going to test your gangster. Now the U.S. is testing all of our gangster. Now, yeah, all of our cars are being pulled. Now, what you going to do, buddy? What you going to do? Because these times that we're in, definitely tumultuous times, definitely unprecedented times. But these are the times that also make the greatest the great. These are also the times that are going to make the weak strong, right? And these are also going to be the times where the weak perish, right? So I want you to think on this. There has been no net increases, no net job increases over the last 6 months, which is predicted to continue, especially as this war goes on, as the global markets get disrupted, right? More companies and corporations are going to continue to hold back, freeze hiring, right? I want you to think on this. How do I pivot? Where is the money flowing? How do I position myself to receive that money? What businesses can I operate, right, that can benefit from the new world? What countries can I benefit from, right, in the new world? Listen, if you want to know more information, come over to the Patreon, join the family, right? This past Friday, we just had a group call. Everybody wasn't on, but we still had a group call, right? And it was a phenomenal group call. We talked about positioning yourself for the new world order and how to become a sovereign individual in the new world that is coming, right? Listen, come over to the Patreon, join the family so you can learn the skills, so you can build a mindset, right? And so you can get the tools that are needed to survive and to thrive in a new world. Listen, the link is in the description. The after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. Purpose, freedom, and power. And this is an after pill. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here. And I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint. PFP life. A way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.